Welcome to Coffee and the Cross, a devotional that's published each weekday morning. If you would like a free guide to be able to follow along a little closer to what we're talking about, there's a link in the description below. And also, thank you so much for hitting the like button and the subscribe button so that you can receive more videos. And now, let's get into our conversation for today. Hi, and welcome to Coffee and the Cross, and my name is Travis. Today's reading is going to come from Genesis chapter 44 all the way through chapter 47, verse 12. And here we kind of see the culmination of Joseph's life and understanding that his purpose has now come to realization in the saving of not only the people of Egypt, but also Joseph's own personal family that he was estranged from. We oftentimes misunderstand what it means to be a blessing. And we look at circumstances that we go through, and the question asked today is, does God waste anything? No, because He is preparing you so that you can become a blessing for someone else. In our world today, we think blessed means from consumption. In other words, I have all of these great blessings. I've been blessed with a great job and a family and all of those things, which are wonderful to have. But it's misunderstanding what the actual word blessed means, which is that you will give something to someone else so that they will be able to prosper. And also it may be a saving grace to them to get them out of a very challenging circumstance, just like Joseph did by preparing and saving all of the grain that they did so that when the years of famine came, they would still have food so that starvation wouldn't extinguish the vast majority of the population. So we need to think about that. What God is preparing us for and working in our life for is really so that we can be a blessing to someone else, not necessarily for us to be consumed. See, when we look at Joseph's life and we see that he became second in command, we think, oh, well, he lived in a lap of luxury. The man was working diligently and hard in preparation for the famine that was coming, and then he had to be the one who was in charge of doling out the resources during the famine. He was working constantly, but he was being a blessing at that time to others and bringing the salvation of many. In fact, look at these verses. When his brothers came to him and everything is finally being hashed out with his brothers and everything that had happened as far as the betrayal, look at Joseph's perspective in this. It's found in Genesis chapter 45. He says it not once, but twice, beginning in verse 5, he says, "For God sent me before you," his brothers, "to" what? "Preserve life." And then a little bit later in verse 8, he says it again. "So it was not you who sent me here," his brothers, "but God." Earlier in Joseph's life, he didn't have that perspective. He didn't have that understanding. But now he does. And he realizes that he is there to be a blessing, to save so many lives. And so we are in that process right now. We may not understand everything that God is doing in our life, but it's for a purpose, and that is that we would bless someone. We would be a saving grace for someone else. With the experiences you have been through, with the preparation you have gone through, the purpose is behind it so that you can bless others. So keep that perspective in mind, because how else can we get to Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, which is what many people will quote, but not necessarily understanding the circumstances behind it, when Joseph said in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, "As for you," talking to his brothers again, "you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Why? To bring it about to save many people, that they should be kept alive as they are today. Joseph understood the purpose finally. And it's usually not until the very end, or you have gone through the challenge, you have gone through the experience, that you can look back and say, Now I understand why God brought me here. Now I can understand why God challenged me in the ways that he did. So understand that, my friend, is that God is at work in your life. He is working everything for your good because you were called according to his purpose so that you can be a blessing to someone else. Let me pray with you. Father in heaven, thank you so much for those who are listening right now. And I pray that the understanding would come to light in their hearts, that you are preparing them to be a blessing to others. There is a purpose behind it. And one day we will see why we went through the things that we have gone through. I thank you for your love and your grace in their life. In Jesus' name. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And I pray that this is a blessing to you. And until next time, have a great day, all day.